Arqiva is a British telecommunications company which provides infrastructure and broadcast transmission facilities in the United Kingdom and Ireland, along with commercial Wi-Fi and smart metering for Scotland and the north of England. The company headquarters is located at Crawley Court in the village of Crawley, Hampshire. Its main customers are broadcasters and mobile phone network operators, and its main asset is a network of over 1,000 radio and television transmission sites. It is owned by a consortium of investors led by CPP and the Australian investment house Macquarie Bank. Arqiva is a patron of the Radio Academy. Through its now digital subsidiary, it operates various local digital radio ensembles. History: the company, which has a history that dates back to the beginning of regular public broadcasting in the United Kingdom, was actually only formed in 2005. Below is a potted history of the various organisations that are now part of Arqiva. British Broadcasting Corporation. Responsibility for the transmitter assets of the BBC lay solely within the corporation until 1997. The assets were then split into a separate company. Prior to being sold, the domestic transmitter network was purchased by a U.S. company, Crown Castle, when it was privatized in 1997. Subsequently, in 2004, this was purchased by National Grid plc, which merged in its own private communication network, the name changing to National Grid Wireless in October 2005. Transmitters used by the BBC Overseas Services were sold to a new start-up company called Merlin Communications National Grid. National Grid plc had a large internal network for the communication of its engineers, serving initially the electricity companies, but subsequently the gas industry as well. This company developed on the back of the growth in mobile phones, and its large portfolio of tower locations. This was added to by the purchase of the former BBC network, National Grid Wireless, as it became led a consortium bidding for the second UK national DAB multiplexed licence but was unsuccessful. The licence was awarded instead to 4 Digital Group in July 2007. Independent Television Authority, Independent Broadcasting Authority. The Television Act 1954 gave birth to the Independent Television Authority. The ITA appointed and regulated a number of regional program contractors, and built and operated a network of transmitters. The Sound Broadcasting Act 1972 created legal commercial radio in the UK for the first time. It was modelled on ITV, in that programs were made by local contractors while the regulator, renamed the Independent Broadcasting Authority, owned and operated the transmitters. ITC, RA and Transcom. The Broadcasting Act 1990 split the IBA into 3 bodies. The Independent Television Commission regulated commercial TV and the Radio Authority regulated commercial radio. The IBA's Engineering Division, which operated the transmitters as well as doing research and development, became an independent company called National Transcommunications Limited, also known as Transcom. At this point, technical standards regulation, previously carried out in accordance with the IBA Engineering Code of Practice, seems to have disappeared from the regulatory landscape. Cabletel, Simco and NTL. Transcom was acquired by International Cabletel Inc., which subsequently built its brand around the NTL name. It ran up huge debts during the dot-com boom, which crippled the company for many years. In 1998, NTL acquired the UK antenna sites business of Simco, a private mobile radio company formed from Philips Telecom (PMR). In 1999, NTL acquired the UK field service operations business of Simco. In 2004, NTL sold its broadcast unit unit to Macquarie Communications Infrastructure Group but continued as a cable operator. Macquarie in January 2005, Macquarie Communications Infrastructure Group renamed its new subsidiary Arqiva. Subsequently, in July 2009, Macquarie sold off a substantial part of its holding and moved the remaining amount to its investment fund. Canada Pension Plan Investment Board now has a 48% holding and Macquarie European Infrastructure Fund 2 has 21%, with other Macquarie Group funds holding 13% in media. Arqiva acquired en.Media Communications from the Carlyle Group for £68.5 million in July 2005 to form the new Satellite Media Solutions business unit. En.Media was owned by Kingston Communications and known as Kingston en.Media before being bought by the Carlyle Group in 2004. BT Broadcast. Arqiva announced the signing of a sale and purchase agreement with BT to acquire the full-time service components of BT's satellite broadcast services business for £25 million in cash in November 2006. The deal will include long-term customer contracts, operations and personnel located in the USA, France, Italy and the Netherlands, as well as the UK. Deal completion is subject to regulatory approval in the UK and Germany. National Grid Wireless. Arqiva purchased National Grid Wireless on 3 April 2007 for £2.5 billion. The company planned to run NGW as a separate company, Macquarie UK Broadcast Ventures Limited, pending review of the deal by competition regulators. Regulatory agreement was reached in late 2008 and National Grid Wireless was amalgamated into Arqiva. The new company employs around 2,300 people and operates all the TV and most of the radio transmitters in the UK. It is deemed to be a monopoly operator and as such is regulated by Ofcom. JFMG. Arqiva purchased PMSC band manager JFMG the 19th of February 2009. JFMG were contracted by communications regulator Ofcom to provide spectrum management and licensing services for program making and special events. In May 2015, Ofcom made the decision to end the contract with Arqiva and to insource the existing services. Recent activity. One Vision DTT license application during 2009. Arqiva were involved in the possibility of provision of digital pay TV in Ireland. Seesaw. In March 2010, Arqiva invested in and launched a catch-up internet television IPTV service called Seesaw. Subsequently, the holding in the company was reduced to 25%. Wi-Fi. In July 2012, Arqiva bought Spectrum Interactive, a wholesale-only Wi-Fi provider. Notable transmitter sites.